think she's yours, because she says she loves you, because she cooks for you, because she posts your picture with hearts and filters, because she once cried in your arms and told you, "I could never lose you." But here's the truth that will slap you sober. She's not yours. It's just your turn. And the moment you forget that, the moment you start believing her body, her attention, her loyalty belong to you, you begin building your masculinity on sand. Because one day, she will change, she will drift. She will stop laughing at your jokes, she'll pull away without saying why, and it'll feel like betrayal. But it isn't betrayal, it's biology. And if you don't understand this one brutal truth, you'll be crushed by something that was never promised to you in the first place. In this video, I'm going to rip the illusion wide open and show you what no one dares to say about female nature, ownership, and the reality of masculine detachment. You ready? Good. Let's begin. 1. She belongs to the moment, not the man. You think she's yours because she sleeps in your bed, because she whispers your name, because she posts pictures of you on her story, because she calls you her man. But let me say something that will sting now and save you later. She doesn't belong to you. She belongs to the moment you represent. It's not about your name or your promises or your good heart. It's about the energy you embody right now, because a woman's loyalty is not carved into stone. It's painted in wet ink. It smudges, it shifts, and sometimes it disappears overnight. See, female desire isn't rooted in logic. It's not bound by duty. It's tied to feeling. And feelings are momentary. One week you're her safe place. The next, you're a reminder of what she's outgrown. One month, you're the man she can't stop thinking about. The next, you're background noise in her DMS. Why? Because she was never yours. You were just her current obsession, her emotional drug, her fantasy, until the feeling changed. And most men, they don't see it coming because they confuse intensity with forever. They think her moans mean permanence. They think her tears mean devotion. They think her love today guarantees tomorrow, but it doesn't. Because when the moment shifts, when you stop representing the energy she craves, when your mystery fades, when the thrill turns routine, she detaches. Not because she's evil, but because that's how her biology protects her from staying stagnant. She doesn't stay with the man who was good. She stays with the man who remains relevant to her current emotional world. And the truth most men ignore: you're not competing with other men. You're competing with her evolving desires. That's why it feels like she changed. Because she did. The moment she met you, you were aligned with her needs. But she's not the same woman now. And if you haven't evolved with her, she's gone. Mentally first, then emotionally, then physically. And you're left holding the memory of a woman who only existed for that version of you. That's why breakups feel like death, because you're not just grieving her, you're grieving the man you were when she wanted you. And that's the harsh, unspoken truth. You never owned her. You temporarily matched her energy. When that match broke, so did the bond. So what do? You stop trying to possess. You stop clinging. You stop needing forever. You become the moment. You embody the type of man who is constantly becoming. So her desire has to keep chasing you, instead of replacing you, because if you think she's yours, you've already lost her. By the way, there's something I shouldn't be giving away, but I am. It's a free ebook called The Female Mind Control Handbook. Inside are the forbidden psychological triggers that make women crave, obsess, and even chase you. It's raw, it's real, and it's something she'd never want you to read. Grab it now, link in the description and pinned comment before it disappears. 2. You were never her only option, just her favorite distraction. Let this sink in. You weren't her only choice. You were just the most exciting option at the time. And if that makes you uncomfortable, good. Because the sooner you confront this truth, the sooner you'll stop living in delusion and start living in power. Here's what you need to understand. Every woman, no matter how loyal she seems, has options, visible or invisible, direct or indirect, tested or waiting. She has orbiters, fans, colleagues, exes lurking in the background, just friends who'd risk it all for one green light, and no matter how many times she says, "You're the only one I want." You have to remember this. She's saying that while you're exciting, while you're in control of your energy, while you're still a challenge. But the moment you stop being that, you fade, and someone else steps into focus. Because women don't switch interest like a light. They do it gradually, silently, strategically. At first, she texts slower. She's busy more often. The conversations feel colder, but you can't explain why. Then she starts talking about needing space, focusing on herself, not feeling connected. But here's the twist. She's already emotionally attached to someone else, maybe not physically, yet, but emotionally. She's drifting away from you and toward the next emotional high, the guy who flirts just enough, the one who makes her feel mysterious again, the man who isn't always available, the one who makes her question her value. That's who becomes the new favorite distraction. Because women chase emotion, not logic. And when the emotions fade with you, they rise somewhere else. And you? You're left wondering what happened, when you were replaced, what you did wrong. The truth? Nothing, except this. You forgot she had options. And you stopped being the best one. You got comfortable. You got predictable. You gave her all your time, your energy, your presence, without keeping any for yourself. And that energy? It repelled her, because it told her, "You're all I have. Without you, I'm nothing." But the man who becomes everything outside of her, the man who owns his time, protects his mystery, and never makes her the center of his universe, that's the man she can't forget, even when she's with someone else. So stop thinking you're her only shot. You're not. You never were. You were just a moment that burned brighter than the rest, until you stopped burning. And when that happened, she simply turned toward the next flame. 3. If you think you own her, you'll destroy yourself. Possession. That's the illusion. You hold her hand, she sleeps in your bed, calls you baby, introduces you to her parents, and your mind begins to lie to you. She's mine. She'd never leave. I earned this. But what you don't see, what most men never do, is that the moment you start to believe she belongs to you, you stop being the man she fell for. Why? Because ownership breeds entitlement. And entitlement kills the very energy that created the attraction in the first place. When you think she's yours, you stop sharpening yourself. You stop leading. You stop watching. You stop listening. You assume. You expect. You get comfortable. And comfort is where masculinity dies. It's where polarity fades. It's where desire withers and routine begins. But she doesn't want to be owned. She wants to be chosen over and over again by a man who never stops evolving. The moment you treat her like a prize you already won, you stop earning her. And the moment you stop earning her, she starts looking elsewhere. And here's where it gets darker. when she leaves. You'll feel betrayed. You'll spiral. You'll rage, because in your mind she was yours. But she wasn't. She never was. She was just present, for a time, a chapter, a season. And instead of accepting that reality like a Stoic, most men break. They beg, they stalk, they threaten, they plead, and in doing so, they destroy whatever masculine presence they had left. Because the more you cling, the more you bleed. And women don't chase blood, they chase power. Here's what you must understand. You cannot own a woman. You can only invite her into your frame, and she will stay only as long as that frame is strong. That's the hard truth. If your frame collapses, if your values bend, if your confidence decays, she's gone. And if your identity was built on having her, you'll collapse too. But if your identity is built on yourself, on purpose, on mastery, on truth, then her presence becomes a bonus, not a lifeline. And when she leaves, you don't break. You grow, you build, you walk forward, calm, unshaken, because the Stoic man knows, she was never mine. It was just my turn, and now my time is better spent becoming even greater. Not because he's bitter, but because he refuses to be ruled by illusion. The men who rise, the ones she can't forget, are not the ones who cling. They're the ones who can say goodbye without flinching. Now you see it. It was never about forever. It was about alignment, about energy, about the version of you she fell for. Not the idea of you staying the same. She didn't change. She evolved. And you mistook time for truth. You tried to own her. She only wanted to feel something. You offered comfort. She wanted fire. You tried to make her stay. She was already halfway gone. And now, you have two choices: cling to the fantasy or become the man who never needs it again. Because when you detach, when you embrace the truth that no woman is ever truly yours, you stop fearing loss. And when you stop fearing loss, you become the one thing no woman can resist, a man she can't control. If you've ever watched a woman fade while you held on tighter, comment, "She was never mine." Let's see how many men finally woke up today.